scary again. Anyone here? Where is everyone? Hi, Maurice. Yeah, I guess. Oh, hi, Chipmunk. Nice to see you here. I was, uh, I was wondering if anyone is still here at this time, and I wonder what's going on, cause yeah, something got wrong with OBS. I can't see the preview. Encoding is overloaded. And, and yeah, one moment, please. They're at it again. You can't hear me? Hmm. Interesting. Cause I can see the audio coming out. No, it's going. Yeah, I checked because normally when I have the stream panel on YouTube, I have it muted so that the audio from the speakers doesn't go back into the mic and cause the feedbacks. But then yeah, maybe just a glitch. Maybe just a glitch. So let's see, because seems like I lost the preview of the scene in OBS, but I can see it's going live. Always some kinds of problems, but at least today it's a no fuck up time. And by the way, I got this little calculator. Let's turn it on. Works nicely now. Oh, nice to hear that, Morris. Audio is incredibly low. Hmm. Interesting. Let me see. Yeah, I guess it's either the hardware problem Let me speak closer to the mic. Oh, it's very very low. Yeah, it's very low. Hmm. Let's check the settings. And now I guess that should be a lot louder. Just a few more decibels. I I think I think you can hear me a lot louder now. Yeah, Chipmunk. I guess that it was just the mic. So today I've got some pretty bad news because I saw at Veronica Explains channel that that Kathleen Booth, the inventor of assembly language, has died. She was 100 years old, so it was a very good age, and I have never heard about her because I'm even though I'm pretty interested in the her story of technology, of information technology, of electrical engineering, and that kind of stuff. I've never heard about her. I've heard about Hedy Lamarr. I've heard about Ada Lovelace. I've heard about Grace Hopper, about Margaret Hamilton, but not about Kathleen Booth. And the fact that she was in computing, and at her time it was the Second World War. She worked on the automatic relay calculator, the very early digital computer, and she later on she went on the all-purpose electronic X-ray computer, or APEX-C. That was 1948, all with vacuum tubes. Hi, Ray. Pretty fascinating. All that stuff. And then let me. Hello, Kitty. Let me show you the article. I'm gotta copy it, and yeah, one moment, please. The cat is annoying. Cat being cat, doing cat things. Let me show you. Copy the link and paste it here. That's the article about Kathy. And when I was reading the article, I also found some other women in early information technology, some fascinating stuff. Now, where did I had that? Where where did I have that one? Yeah, that's the one I wanted to find. Let's yeah, found another one about Katherine Johnson. She was also the pioneering African American mathematician who did calculations for NASA, and she was also vital to the Apollo 11 mission success. I was pretty much shocked because I knew it was Margaret Hamilton, but I didn't even know that Margaret Hamilton was not alone in it. And since Katherine Johnson also was the to-go person to ask about the data on the Gemini mission when the astronauts didn't trust the computer. They wanted to double check with someone with the brain. And what's more important that Katherine Johnson, I think she really discovered the pepcak. You know, the problem exists between keyboard and chair. I guess that she was the first one to question whether the information technology, the computers, the systems should be blindly trusted. That the people who run the systems, the computers, should be blindly trusted. And what if someone does something wrong? What if an astronaut push the wrong button on the capsule? Yeah, Chipmunk. Same with the cars and the large nut behind the wheel. Indeed. Problem exists between keyboard and chair. A problem exists between steering wheel and driver's seat. It seems. I was also having some more thoughts about the political issues that regarding the weaponization of detransition, but I guess it's no use to talk too much about the trans stuff. As for the projects, I just packed the Marantz SD62 tape decks. I will ship it tomorrow. Ship it back to the customer, but yeah, and, that one was a thing of beauty and a joy forever. You gotta see it. You gotta see my video of the repair and more important, how it looks inside. I'll post the link in the chat. And I also had some rambling about about Keritech. What is Keritech? Who is Keritech? Is the other one Keritech really related to any Keri? By the way, if you don't know, the reason why I chose Keri as my name was in Fallout 1. One of the non-player characters, a daughter of the caravan company, Crimson Caravans owner, was named Keri. As for the type deck, here it comes. This is the SD62. I also did a little modification of the VS1 vector scope. Let me fetch it and show it live. Heating up, plugging in, plug it to the mixer, and let's start some Jerobeam Fenderson. Reconstruct. Still heating up. And okay. And I can pretty easily flip the image horizontally and vertically. And I can also transpose the left and right channel, the vertical and horizontal deflection. Okay, that would be... Hey Al, nice to see you here. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of the vector scope project. Dancing spider, yeah, kinda. Basically, a bike. Yeah, all this music is from Jerobim Fenderson. Quite a creative one. Got pretty much a legend when it comes to visualizing music on an oscilloscope, making music, making electronic music that not just sounds nice, but also creates pretty meaningful images on a scope. Oh, damn it, cat, don't get on the keyboard, for crying out loud. Yeah, I'm posting the link right now. Here you go. Yeah, hi Eduardo. Cat logic, if I fits, I stand all over it. Oh yeah. Cat logic indeed. Kitty is moderating the chat. That was a good one. I really liked it. By the way, it's 24 past 1 here, and I think we'll have something you know, something you like in 6 minutes. By the way, I was doing a lot of cleaning and decluttering in my lab, in my flat. Feel way better now. So it's definitely time for some reorganization, some recombobulation in this place. Still a lot of mess, but I think that after a few days, when I do some reorganization and put some furniture, some tables in different places than they are now, I will definitely do the lab tour video. And here's something that I found during that decluttering. It comes from the rack mount UPS. It was meant for holding the 7 amp hour battery, but it totally looks like AT-AT. A very simplified version of the Imperial Walker. Imperial Walker. Yeah, the Empire Strikes Back. The Empire Strikes Back. And what we do with the Imperial Walkers is that's what we do with the Empire? No Imperial shit around here. Rebels for the win. Oh, and Cat, would you please stop biting that string for crying out loud? Yeah, by the way, a little medley for the science fiction movie fans. Use the Force, or set phasers to stun for crying out loud. Yeah, Gator's gonna gate. Not 8080. Yeah. No, those Imperial Walkers were around in around the time the Empire Strikes Back was made, the true classic. I'm not that much of a Star Wars fan, but I watched the first trilogy that first as in it was filmed first, and chronologically it was second. Then I watched the second or first trilogy, but I never watched the third one. Kitty. Kitty! I also never watched Star Trek, though it's definitely on my list of series of movies that I definitely want to watch because it has a cult following. I definitely want to watch it. I watched Stargate, the movie, I think twice or even 3 times, and I watched Stargate SG-1. I think I haven't watched the entire 10th season, but most of it I watched, and I watched some Stargate Atlantis. I also I also never watched Stargate Universe. So for any Stargate fans, Java Cree. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, it's 1:30. Let me grab it. One moment, please. Okay, it's Woofle. I always do waffle with hairspray. And check out this biggest knife that I got from the local hackerspace. Gotta be for unboxing, for all the unboxing stuff. If you want, then you can send me something if you want. I'll give you the address. And when making any unboxing videos, I will use this one. Dave Jones style. I just DST 030. Yeah, it's 1:30 in my time zone. That is Central European winter time now. It was the time travel night. Astrologers proclaim the week of the DeLorean DMC-12. Time, growth -1 hour. So it's been half an hour talking, and we've got a lot of stuff to do because it's the project stream. So I guess that yeah, handmade knives, nice. You don't know about Polish customs. Oh yeah, that's a bitch, because inside the European Union it should not be a problem at all, but I don't know how things are between Poland and the States or Canada or Australia or the UK now. With all that Brexit, by the way, everyone laughs at Theresa May and how fast she went down. I read an article about the new Prime Minister having to clean a lot of mess. I also read that Theresa May's government wanted to reject all the legislations that were harmonized with the European Union, unless someone proves that they should stay, like blanket rejection of the laws. I guess that would also include the electrical code in the UK, like the color schemes of the wires. I guess that because after the UK joined the Union, maybe even before that, they switched over to brown for live and blue for neutral and yellow and green for protective earth, just like we have here on the continent. Oh, Chipmunk, you went to school with Rishi Sunak? No, I guess he's not as cancerous as Theresa May or Boris Johnson. Yeah, the had to do with Senelec will not the EU. Okay, so it's more like the IEC, not really the union thing, but some industry organization, an international industry organization, I guess. I don't know all that much about it. And the standards, I guess that the Americans will still stick with the white and black and green. Yeah, even some USA power cards are now brown, blue, and green and yellow. That's interesting to know. I didn't even expect that it would be the case. By the way, about about the electrical engineering, then power electrical systems and networks and standards, Japan is pretty much fucked up because half of the country is 60 hertz and the other half was 50 hertz. I guess one half was wired, connected by Westinghouse, and the other one was by AEG, Allgemeine Elektrizitätsgesellschaft. Pretty interesting that they haven't even come to terms what frequency to use. And I really think that it would be the best if the whole world agreed on a common standard for mains voltage. Guess that 240 volts would be more practical because of the wire gauge versus power, wire gauge and voltage drops, and the cost of wiring. Yeah, Chipmunk, that's 400 hertz. It was used in military electronics, and 455. Yeah, kinda true. 400. It has its advantages because the power transformers and generators for the same power, they can be a lot smaller. They can use less inductance and less impedance, though not exactly less inductance for the same impedance, because impedance is proportional to inductance and the frequency. 2 times pi times frequency times inductance, yeah. The inductive reactance and then impedance is a function of all the reactances and resistance. Yeah, aviation, of course. I saw some Soviet military electronics and aviation systems, some decommissioned stuff when I was going to some to something like Hamfest, like electronic flea markets. I also know that the 6S33S, often wrongly denoted as 6C33C, those pretty big triodes that are pretty much liked by audiophiles. Those tubes were used as pass tubes in power supplies on MiG aircraft. Some early power systems were 25 Hz. Wow, I never even knew that. I guess it also has a lot of things to do with the construction of the generator, like if you have a rotor with windings, you have to use more poles on it to get higher frequency. So I guess it was a lot easier to just use lesser poles, and those generators back then, I think they ran on pretty low speeds because they were huge, a few meters in diameter, and they were powered with steam engines. It was only I think it was only the start of the 20th century when the turbo generators were introduced. They spun a lot faster and allowed for higher frequencies. That's how 50 hertz came into use, or 60. Yeah, the UK, before the national grid happened, had dozens of different standards. Oh yeah, because I guess that the generators were pretty much local. Probably installed in factories where they were powered from the central power distribution system, those overhead shafts and belts that powered each one of those machines that worked in the factory. At first, the electrical power was used for the lighting, and then electric motors were introduced into widespread use because it was a lot easier to run cables to the machines than to make a complex system of mechanical power distribution that has a lot of losses. It has friction on all those bearings, and the rotary mass of the pulleys. It all takes a lot of energy to accelerate when starting up the steam engine. Hi, Retro Mouse. Nice to see you here. Yeah, voice problems again, I guess. Southampton had some of the last public disease supplies. Yeah, the legacy of Edison. Oh, by the way, when we are at it, it is time to honor the Polish inventor named Michał Doliwa-Dobrowolski. He invented the three-phase transformer, the mainstay of all the power distribution systems, all the power networks that run with multiple phases. And from what I remember, there was a fascinating episode from Kathy Love's Physics and History. Let me find it. Oh, Kitty, for crying out loud. Kathy loves physics and history. Unsung hero in defense of George Westinghouse. Maxwell's equations. Okay, where is it? Faraday cage. Or maybe... maybe it was on the Emperor, the one from Dave Jones. The Emperor, let's find him. We'll continue till the full hour, till 2 AM here. Yeah, the lightning timers. A pretty long one, but very fascinating to listen to. And it was Michał Doliwa-Dobrowolski, who was the brain of Allgemeine Elektrizitätsgesellschaft. like he was the Steve Wozniak in Apple. The brain, the engineer that made it all happen. And that's why we have those inductive motors and power distribution systems and transformers, the multi-phase system. And there was also another Polish inventor, Karol Polak, and contrary to the name, it was Karol Polak who invented the full bridge rectifier. We know it as the Great Bridge, the full wave bridge rectifier, the full bridge rectifier. I never tire of that. Hey, Retro and Branch. And Karol Polak did work on batteries, on cells, and I guess rechargeable batteries. He also invented the electrolytic capacitor. Yeah, just I just can't imagine how a typical power supply we see all over the place in electronics would look like if not for his inventions. The electrolytic capacitor. And when I realized that, when I learned about it, I was quite proud. because those inventions are not talked about all that often. They are the ground stones of modern electronic engineering, and of course we have to mention Czochralski, who invented method of refining silicon that is used even today in the semiconductor industry. That's the contributions of Polish engineers. Just a few contributions of Polish engineers to electrical and electronic engineering. So we've got 8 minutes until the project part starts. I think I will I will do the project for 2 hours or something like that, maybe slightly longer, because what I'm gonna do now is putting the Polish cracked Enigma, of course. It was Henryk Zygalski and Marian Rejewski. They worked together with the British, I guess, with Alan Turing also on the cryptographic bomb. The bomb with E on the at the end, not just an explosive bomb. And that helped Bletchley Park. I don't exactly know if they already built Colossus back then. But oh yeah, Colossus was just absolutely magnificent, and I wonder if the Colossus that they have on display is operational and can be used for demonstrations of how this technology worked, and if they have trained personnel to run it and to explain and demonstrate how it worked. Yeah, the Polish have a huge connections with the UK going back to the World War II. I guess that might not even have started in the World War II, maybe even earlier. But also the Dutch have a lot of respect and gratitude for the Polish who fought in the Second World War, though the history it was pretty much ambiguous in the Netherlands, because part of the Dutch people were in the resistance, and part of them collaborated with the Nazis. So the nation was pretty much divided. And when I was in the Netherlands at some point, maybe 2015 or 16, back in my museum days, when I also worked on that ARPA to Castor project, I once visited a library in Amsterdam. They had an exhibition that was titled Good and Evil. It was an exhibition of artifacts of graphic design, of posters, the propaganda, both from the resistance side and the NSB, Nationalsozialist Beweging, the National Socialist Movement in the Netherlands. Yeah, those bombies were destroyed. Yeah, I guess that would be just preventing technology from being captured by the Soviets, because the UK was on the opposite side of the Iron Curtain. Yeah, the NSB. That's right. Of course, in Poland there were also some collaborators. Maybe not just the explicit ones, but some of the people shared some sentiments with the Nazis. It was visible before the war, before in the 1930s, like Roman Dmowski was pretty famous. Yeah, that's about history. So it's almost the bench time. Yeah, they didn't want the Soviet or indeed some allies to know. Yeah. Yeah, politics. It indeed influenced then through the Cold War there was this COCOM embargo where the Western technology was generally not allowed in the Soviet influence zone, including Poland. That's why, for example, Tektronix's scope is quite a rarity here in Poland. They are very expensive, and you couldn't even back in those days in 60s, 70s, 80s, electronic parts, Western electronic parts were frowned upon, and it was preferred to use the parts made by the Polish and Czechoslovak, Hungarian, Soviet, Yugoslavian, and so on, electronic industry. Of course, engineers sometimes tried different ways and tricks to get the good stuff from the West, and that's why UNITRA, the union of Polish consumer electronics, not just consumer but also professional gear. Sometimes the engineers succeeded in overcoming those political limitations. It's all politics. Poly being many and ticks are blood-sucking creatures. And yeah, it's so easy to forget that the Cold War happened. I was born 1996. I was just a kid when Cold War ended, but I'm pretty fascinated by the tech, by the electronics made in those times, and I'm fascinated by what was done in our side of the Iron Curtain. Some of that stuff was very high quality, way better than today. Today I saw Samantha, the cathode gay tube video. I like Samantha very much. She's a clever girl who does audio electronics service. She did a little teardown of a 3-channel mono mixer from some factory in then Soviet Ukraine, and that mixer had a very sturdy aluminum enclosure. I could say that that enclosure was rough and tough. It could easily compete with the Hammond boxes that you can see on effect pedals. I even suggested Samantha to make this make an overdrive effect out of that mixer, because she did some experiments with it, changing the DC voltage for powering the unit, and she got some distortion, sometimes going into the hard clipping, the fuzz territory, and yeah, I suggested that maybe she should use it as an effect by adjusting the power voltage. I wonder if Fran ever made an effect pedal where the amount of distortion was adjusted with the real voltage. I guess that could be a fun project to do. And let me find that video. Let me show you. Where's Samantha? Oh, the post-apocalyptic inventor has made some new video. I will have to check it out. And as for Samantha, I'll here have it. Okay, who's in the resistance and who's a collaborator merely depends on who wins. Yeah, pretty cynical, but sad but true. Sad but true. Yeah. Too much Metallica. Yeah, protect and survive nuclear attacks here thing in UK. Yeah, fear of silence. that's exactly what the Ukrainian people living in Poland they that's a PTSD trigger for them, and on the 1st of August, traditionally the sirens are turned on at 5 p.m. to commemorate the Warsaw Uprising, but this year it was not done, at least here in Gdańsk, just because of that reason, because we have a lot of Ukrainian refugees from the war, and then the siren blaring, they would give lots of them flashbacks, PTSD flashbacks from the bombings in their cities, in their hometowns. So out of concern for those people, out of empathy, this tradition was not continued this year. Must have been typing at the same time. Also, hello. Yeah, exactly, Chipmunk. It's hard to remember that Poland, Czechia, Slovakia, etc. were all behind the Iron Curtain. And that is also the cause of economic disproportion in continental Europe, because the Western countries accepted the Marshall and Schuman plan for post-war reparations, but the Eastern countries, even if they wanted, they were pressured by the Soviet Union not to accept that plan, and yeah, they were worse off economically, and it still shows. And because they were worse off economically, then some antagonisms raised, and a lot of older folks have some resentment, not just against the Germans, but also the Western Europe at all. And Retro Mouse suggests that I should do a combined stream with FranLab. I would be absolutely glad to do that. I would be absolutely glad. I'm dreaming of it. Me and Fran doing a combined stream like she did at the first Artemis 1 launch attempt that was scrapped. By the way, the upcoming launch is on the 14th of November. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I hope we are going this time. No clue, but I sincerely hope that we'll be going, and I hope that this mission is a success. That not just it launches, but then the flight continues, and the SLS/Orion reaches the moon. Yeah, the post-apocalyptic inventor's new video annoyed you, Chipmunk. Yeah, Southampton, UK. Less than a mile from you, and you didn't know. Oh yeah, I would be absolutely saddened if someone like Big Clive visited Gdańsk and and I didn't know about that, because I would be glad to invite some people to Keritech. Yeah, Los. Yeah, and as for the Third World War, there were plans in the 60s and 70s about the strategy of the war, the mutually assured destruction, the MID, the complete fucking madness, and with those plans, Poland was designated a buffer zone that was to be nuked into oblivion to prevent the passage of any army, be it Western or Soviet. The scorched earth and area denial. Yeah. And there were some top secret Soviet nuclear missile storage facilities in Borna-Sulinovo, and I guess also in some other sites, mostly northern Poland. After the fall of the Soviet Union, the Soviet generals, the Soviet military, those towns, those villages were completely off limits to any people other than the Soviets. And there were living quarters, there were barracks, there were storage facilities, but not actual silos. And I guess there were air bases. This was all off limits, and when the Soviets drew back, they took all the equipment, leaving empty complexes, and hardly anyone knew about them. It was not made public. Yeah, haunted by threads. Yeah, you would imagine it's scary. Warplane UK. But yeah, Chipmunk, I think I once saw some videos of the British fallout shelters. Oh damn, were they magnificent! They were huge. Here in Poland, most of the shelters are pretty small. Then the shelters for civil defense use. Then the larger installations were typically placed under factories, and and also there were larger shelters for military use. on the Volin island, there's a museum of Cold War, and it's in a it's a shelter that was used by the military, but then they didn't need it anymore, and a museum of Cold War tech was founded there. And in Warsaw there was, unfortunately there was, because it's been liquidated and retaken for the government purposes. There was a museum named Object Alpha Facility. It was a top security biological research lab. It was a military facility, the top level biological research lab. Don't know exactly what kind of research they were doing there. It was something about bacteriological weapons, for example, anthrax. Maybe inventing countermeasures for biological agents. But it was very well preserved. All the medical facilities, all the labs, the bulkhead doors to the test chambers, they were all there, and they can give you an idea of how it looked. Pretty scary stuff. And let me look for it. I guess that now we'll continue until the WUFO. And is there the English version there? No, I guess not. But let me paste the links. And yeah, maybe let's go straight to the gallery. That's the Alpha facility. How it looked. Those bulkhead doors. they really remind. They also remind of what you see in the first season of Stranger Things, in the Hawkins Law lab. Yeah, pretty fascinating stuff. Not that many photos, but if you Google it, you'll see all the tech equipment. Here, got another link. It's just all the exhibition was absolutely brilliant, so realistic, as if the object was functioning, as if it was just in use. By the way, the camera that I'm showing you here, I also have this model of camera, but I think it has a damaged Vidicon than the image tube. It's an analog camera. I hope I will be able to restore it to a working order. I need a lens for it, but it could be a nice project. Okay, reading the chat. Yeah, a copy of the war game. War games. Strange game. The only winning move is not to play. Let's play a global thermonuclear war. Because war never changes. Yeah, everyone burns. And if not, then maybe you'll think of me when you are all alone. Maybe the one who is waiting for you will prove untrue. Then what will you do? Okay. My favorite series of all time. Yeah, Chipmunk, Lech Wałęsa and the Solidarity here in Gdańsk. I live in the city that made this history. That Lech Wałęsa was an electrician in the Gdańsk shipyard. By the way, I live pretty close to the shipyard. It's really an iconic place. And he was an electrician and he was a leader. He was a fucking legend. He was unfortunately also pretty homophobic. After the agreements were made in the 90s, he rejected the thanks, the flowers from queer people. But despite that, I hold a lot of respect for him. Way more than for the Pope. Yeah, lots of off-limits stuff. It was all around the world, in the States, in Italy. I like watching the urban exploration videos from some old top secret bunkers and bases. Even if those are completely abandoned and stripped, they still often contain a lot of old tech, maybe even vacuum tube stuff. And by the way, pretty recently I saw some urban exploration video from a mansion that of someone who was apparently a dentist and also an audiophile or someone who had their own radio station. There was a lot of nice stuff down there with tubes and and some vintage speakers and a reel-to-reel tape machine and lots of tapes. Oh, god damn! I would be, I would be absolutely glad to take that stuff over. And it was just, it was all there, just abandoned and collecting dust. And it's sad. It also gives me some thoughts about what happens to our prized collections after we are gone. Same thoughts as Fran once had, that the life after Fran Lab and the curated hoarding or something like that. That because I also have some vintage stuff, maybe not that much. Fran would be very rich compared to me. To have everything that she has in the lab and in the vault and in the factory, but I can consider myself also pretty happy with that Semtron calculator and some test gear and tubes and audio equipment, though it's not very high end. But if I'm gone, I would really want to find someone who would take my collection over and appreciate it if I were to die. And I've been pretty suicidal in the last few weeks, going through hard times. I think that times are changing for me. Times are changing. I found a job offer at the municipal art gallery, a technical role, and kinda a bit like event and exhibition support. I've got quite some experience in that, having worked for a museum, and I will go for it just to get some financial stability, because I'm broke as fuck and I really need that money. Even if just to buy an electric guitar and learn to play, because that's also what I have dreamed of doing since I was a teen. I built amps before I even took an acoustic guitar in my hands. Yeah, the product of his time, exactly. Though he was the same generation as Anna Grodzka, and she, being trans, she's very supportive. Lockheed Martin. Oh, you live in Colorado. Nice. Lockheed Martin. Yeah. The Skunk Works. the famous legendary Skunk Works. because I know that method with none of that office politics and other corporate bullshit. Just let the brains do the job. Don't get in the way and they will do some wonderful things. Okay, so guess what it is time for now? Woofle! And let's get to the bench. Yeah, hi Kitty. Yeah, Chipmunk. Yeah, I've been doing a little better like yesterday and today. I feel that things are changing for the better. Let's go to the bench. Time to recombobulate myself. Fire the bench laptop. Okay, are we here? Yes, we are here. And this is a little single-ended EL84 amplifier that I'm building for a customer of mine from the Łódź. When I lived in Łódź, it's been sitting there and gathering dust. And let's take apart the enclosure. I painted it myself with some spray paint and conformal coating. And it's time to build this little amplifier. Because yeah, the audio is better now. It's definitely better because now at the bench I use a different microphone. Use a Behringer C1U. Pretty practical for live streaming and for recording. Let's put it front towards me. Then the fixture I used for hanging it when I was painting it goes to trash. Yeah, the kitty moves out of the way when he sees hairspray, I guess so. Yeah, I use the Vicha screwdrivers. And since I use them in my lab, they are cleaner, and I also use some cloth. And WD-40. Screwdriver recombobulation initialized. And that's how you do it, Chipmunk. That's how you do it. Yeah, once the insulation gets damaged, it becomes a pry bar. But you can't whack a headcrab with it. You'd better use a real one. So this is the back side. Oh. Yeah, this is supposed to be in the front, because I'm building the amp in such a way, you'll see there are two mounting holes. Let me wipe it off, because it has gathered a lot of dust. Lots of dust sitting there. I want the amp to be used both in the normal horizontal position, put it on the table, but I also want to be able to have it hanging on the wall with all the connections on the back side, all the cables just hanging off it. And this is a plastic project box that I use as a cover for the output transformers. And this amp will have a separate power supply. So the power transformer is not located in it, but in a separate enclosure. And actually those are two power transformers back to back with with a 12-volt intermediate voltage that also powers the tube heaters. I want to use DC for heating the tubes, preventing the mains frequency hum, all the interference. I don't want that in my amp. Yeah, the holes seem to be matching. Just wanna check whether this is the correct size to prevent any mismatch between the holes, because it was all handmade with a drill on a post. Yeah, I guess that it matches. So the bottom part of the enclosure, I will put it back. I don't really have to care about it. We'll put it on the table. I think I can put this back also. Because what I will be working on now is the base plate. Reading the chat. Yeah, cutters are more expensive. They get treated better. They always do. Yeah, got the remarkable cutters in my workshop, the Knipex. Useful stuff. By the way, I haven't showed you the front and back panel. This would be the front panel with some. The enclosure was for some modem or some other device. It had a factory rectangular hose in it. I decided to add some thin stainless steel sheet metal to cover it and make the front panel with the Alps potentiometer. Then the back panel, it's not perfect, but yeah, I don't really like the way the foil comes off. Might be doing it again. Might be taking it apart, peeling the foil off and printing it again, because I totally don't like how it comes off. Looks quite bad. But all the speaker terminals and input jacks and the power supply card with a 5-pin plug on the other side. Here I've got output transformers. This is the base plate. This is the chassis for the tubes. And what it will look like. It's the transformers will go here. This is the power filter board with a voltage regulator for the low voltage part, because this amplifier will be retrofitted with a Bluetooth module. and I want to prepare it for that. There are also two huge standoffs that I will use for the prototyping board. It's a perforated board without traces, without copper, and it will be used for mechanical support of any additions on top of it. And this will be placed on 4 standoffs right here with the tube sockets and a terminal strip. Beauty, joy forever, attached to it. The whole assembly will be placed inside the enclosure so that no screws, no bolts, no nuts are visible from the top. That's the little design feature that I wanted to use in this amplifier. Yeah, Rayburn. You sure you don't mean the insulation gets damaged because it is used as a primer? So, first let's do some mechanical stuff, although I think I will solder the connection, the connections, the wires to the transformer, because later on I won't be able to reach them with my iron all that easy. So I think it's best to do it now. And from what I remember, I've got the schematics, the working schematics for this amp. Yeah, I even considered the triode, ultra-linear or pentode switch. Not sure if I'm doing it because I don't have the place on the panel. But what's important about those transformers is the pinout. I will be using the 1 and 4. I will be using 3. And I will be using 5 and 6. I'm also considering using another one, and the 7 and 8. This is pretty thin. And I'm thinking about using it for the feedback only. Anyway, grabbing some wires from my underbench wire storage solution that I also really need to make a video of because I think that a lot of people might find it pretty clever. Maybe that much of a wire. We'll have to suck this. For stripping the wire, I just use the cutters. Yeah, 1 and 4. Also gotta watch out because because those transformers are placed back to back, and I really better use some extra wire. That much should be okay. Yeah, I guess I stripped too much. Move the insulation back. Of course, we have to pay attention to have the correct phase on both transformers. That would be for the primary. I'll also use some heat shrink. By the way, I would love to see Skunky Designs do a amp building stream, a live one. She seems to be coming back to doing amp work. And now the industrial grade hair dryer. Quick, easy, elegant. A nice way of shrinking HSTs. So I will also want to use the 4-ohm and 8-ohm taps. The 4-ohm tap would be on 6. That would be this. Number 5, that would be the ground for the speaker. Yeah, I did fabricate my own fume extractor. I used a centrifugal fan, 3D printed the cover, and used some piece of wood from a restaurant for the little note holders. Made it myself, and I power it from an old 19-volt laptop power supply. All DIY or die. And as a matter of fact, all the purpose of the film extractor is just blowing it away from my face, dissolving the films in the air in the room. Most of the stuff I do here, it's made by me. Also because I'm just broke as fuck and can't really affording to buy the new ones. So it's either buying stuff second hand or building it myself, the old school way. Yeah, let's mark it with the black heat shrink so that I don't confuse it with the high voltage side, the primary. One of them is wired, the other one. Time for the other one. The heat shrink tube just got into the fan. Got its heat shrink tube and not shut. Because I don't like shit hitting the fan. Five and 6. 5 should be black. And 6 will be white. Yeah, excellent, powerful fan. I think I took it from some photo lab machine or something like that. A good quality industrial fan. Yeah, it's Pabst. A very known, a very well-known name in the industrial components. Yeah, twisting some wires for the secondary. And for the primary, this will be for the left, the other one will be for the right. Route them in the opposite direction. Now it's time to attach the screws that I will use for mounting the printed circuit board, and then the transformers. I guess I should use the long ones. Tja, Chipmunk. Red, white and black. But no green. Though red, white and black bears kind of a historic association than the dark one with the German Reich. Not just the Dritte Reich, the Nazis, but but the Bismarck Empire also had the black, red, and white. The PCB mounting screws. And for this one I will use pairs of nuts going together as standoffs. For this purpose, let me get a nut driver. A nut driver is not a tool to drive you nuts. I guess it's number 6 for M3. And then the screw is too long for... Number 6 is too large. Try 5. And 5 is kinda too small. I really could use something like 5.5. So I will just use the pliers and the screwdriver. And then the second knot. And for this one, number 6 is pretty good. Just tighten them. And check with the printed circuit board if it comes on nicely. It does. I won't be using any washers on this side for the fear of doing a short circuit between the path here. It's just a prototyping board, but for single amps like this one, I use the perf board. Don't design the PCB. Come on, just get down there. Be done with it already. Yeah, that about should do it. Oh yeah, I see what's happening because this protruding part on the connector doesn't allow the washer to come down. I will cut it off. Should help a bit. And we're going nuts. This one I will have to do it with the pliers because the nut driver won't come down there. It's a good thing that I'm doing it now and not after I've put the transformers on. That's what she said. What do you mean, Chipmunk? Ah, that one. Yeah. But I didn't emphasize the words with a whip. Yeah, love your laugh. I hope it's pretty witty. I hope it's pretty crazy and witty. Yeah, that's the circuit board. One those binding posts. This one is before the RC filter here. This one and the other one for the other channel. And those two are after the filters. Or maybe the other way around. No. Didn't even take a closer look. I'll check it with the meter. Now, attaching the transformers. This will take the socket wrench number 7, because this is M4. Drives me nuts! Drives me nuts! Drives you nuts? Just screw it. Gotta get some washers. Right above the bench. Yeah, bye Elle. Bye Elle. Nice to see you. Yeah, party! It's a party in the chat. I just hope it's not the conservative party. Politics. Poly being many and ticks are blood-sucking creatures. Let's move it back. Pretty tricky. I use a different wrench. Adorably evil. Nah. I thought I was chaotic good. Yeah, that should about do it. Why am I trying to check the continuity with the probe in the current socket? Yeah, that's the ground. This one is the ground. This is the positive for both transformers. And those will be the post filter positive for the first stage. This would be the plus 5 volts and the ground. But I might also connect this already. Because it will go up there to the daughter board. That's the 5 volts. I also twist the wires. That's how you get lit up like a Christmas tree. Zap! No, not at this one. Not on this one. I did get zapped on the vector scope. But this one will be perfectly zap free. Yeah, so the second stage's plate, it's taken care of. The output wiring is also taken care of. Then I will just attach those binding posts. those standoffs, I wanted to say. Let's see, I think I will cut it at this point. Metal cutters are pretty good for PCB. Got damaged a bit. I'll cut it some more. Then I will also have to drill it. Yeah, just make sure you don't burn your house down. I will burn my house down with the lemons. Make a combustible lemon that burns houses down. I don't want your damn lemons. What am I supposed to do with these? Throw the cutters away and cancel the app. Not participating in this sort of cancel culture. Yeah, seriously. I don't know. I don't know where this kind of discourse comes from, but I really find it quite toxic. This one I will do with the knife. Out of shot, the cat is building a Wi-Fi extender. Which would not affect the stream at all, because it's all on a wired network. Woofle? Oh yeah, it's past woofle time. And sorry, but no woofling at the band. Yeah, Chipmunk, it's Coco. Kilo Oscar, Kilo Oscar. It's this home. Two M4 bolts. Should make it a little bit further out. Yeah, Coco is very cute. Unexpected woofle. Yeah, the propane line to the Bunsen burner. I used Bunsen burners back when I was studying chemistry. We had labs and there were plenty of those burners. That's the one. Yeah. So this is pretty much the mounting board for the amplifier for the auxiliary parts. It's almost 3 AM here, and I will be wrapping it up. Yeah, maybe I'll just get the bigger washers for this. Next part, I think I will make a video of the second part of building this amp, because then I will have the back panel reprinted and I'll be able to put it together. I wish I could do a silk screening job on the panel. Don't have the technology for that. Putting the standoffs for the proper chassis. Hey Katie, nice to hear from you. Nice to see you here. I'm afraid you missed the best part. Because I'll be ending the stream pretty soon. But it's nice to see you. Like 1.5 hours I was talking and then moved on to the important part of building the amp. And while I'm at it, I will install the terminal strip already on this metal plate. I will use a few washers as standoffs. Yeah, this one is probably the best. Yeah, passing out for the night. No need for that. Should have turned it off sooner. Now the tube sockets. and some more screws. Yeah, I won't use the washers on the top, only on the bottom. Yeah, sounds like a joy. And a thing of beauty. Just kidding. That mouse! Hope it's not the mouse from Big Life Community. Or the dead mouse. Written with 5 at the end. Okay, Katie. See you. Bye. Nice to see you here. time to tighten those nuts. And then it will sit on top of those standoffs. Yeah, bye, Katie. So this is how the internal assembly of this amplifier looks like. Back to the enclosure. it will be time for test fitting. Looks bad. Looks like I will probably have to change the plate, flip it, because something. All the sockets are moved to the side. Not a good surprise. Shit happens. So I will have to take it mechanically apart and mount all the parts on the opposite side of the sub chassis. Because I just forgot that those holes, they are not mounted symmetrically in this enclosure. See, the distance from this side to the hole is way longer than the distance from this side to the hole. And that is why the trouble happened. I'm not sticking surprise, but I will correct this off the camera and then make the second video about wiring this part. All the signal and B+ and heating wires. It's gonna be a pretty simple one, because those amplifiers tend to be that simple. Yeah, the plate is flipped. The plate is flipped. Yeah, there's more to bite under the floor than a live cable. Electrocution. For the rodents. Okay, time to wrap it up. So the only thing I'm not very happy about how it went today is that the plate got flipped. But still, it can't always be perfect. I'll I'll make it. I'll make this amp. I will make it this week. I'll make it and test it. Gonna be a pretty fun comeback to the world, the art of amp building. Because this is a very simple amp project. About as simple as it gets when it comes to hi-fi amps. Next amp project. Yeah, back to quiet mic. Back to quiet mic. Wonder if I can do something about it. Let's set the filters and get some more. Let's get some more gain on this thing. I hope it's a lot louder now. It might be a little bit quieter now, but yeah, maybe not that much. Fiddling with the setting of the compressor in OBS. Set the makeup gain to 24 decibels. And I guess it's pretty nice. Yeah, Eduardo. I was thinking about building a small push-pull amp with two EL84s or maybe ECL 86 tubes. A small practice guitar amp. And when I built the Keritech, my theremin that I was going to make, it will also be pretty useful for amplification for the theremin. You know, it's gonna be a cheap theremin. Self-built. Then the Keritech, the real deal stuff from Keritech Electronics. Not the moch. But then I've got a few projects going on in my lab, and I don't really want to take up a new project before I finish the running ones. So it's 19 past 4. I think I will continue until 4:30. And we'll finish with a woofle. The third one tonight. Would be 4 hours streaming. The longest stream that I had in my her story. And the stream with the least fuck ups. because the way I look at it now, apart from the mid-level issues, I think everything went just like I wanted to. Like no problems. The power was on. I started the stream both in OBS and on the YouTube panel. The only thing that I noticed that I don't have the preview of the camera in OBS right now, but it's not that much of a problem. Maybe it's because I'm viewing the stream in the YouTube panel. So it's gonna be 3 hours. Yeah, it's like 3 hours 22. So interesting, because this is the Sunday/Monday night, and it was the last night that was the time travel night. And now we're back. Do it with the DeLorean. BCO, Chipmunk. What's the BCO? Ah, Big Live Official. I always post links in the Big Live Official Discord and the Technical Family. By the way, I wonder if you could change some settings or something to make my videos appear automatically in the Technical Family Discord in the new videos section. I wonder if you could do that. Yeah, I try to make my streams as interesting and fun to hang out. Like I'm trying to do the thing that I was really missing about Fran's streams, because I've never seen her do a live project on the stream, and I thought it would be quite a lot of fun to... Hi Emily, nice to see you here. Yeah, thanks a lot. You're so nice too. Yeah, I also promote my streams in some other Discord servers, like like Emily the Harpist and Pedal Playhouse. Yeah, I guess that Fran was going through the low patch. Yeah, caused a bit of backlash. I guess that this fucked up economy, it's driving lots of people into depression and even despair. Especially here in Europe, with the electricity prices skyrocketing, and I had trouble making do, getting by economically. It was always very hard since I'm on my own, but but now after the pandemic, times are a lot harder. If you play Tetris and reach a certain level, then all those blocks they will. Yeah, Gdańsk is cheaper than Philly, and I guess that if your earnings are in dollars or euros, then if you come here to Poland, you'll automatically be very privileged because 1 hour of work in the West would be worth something like 4 or 5 hours of work in Poland. So if you make an hour worth of cash in the West and then bring it here, then you won't have to work for another few hours. Yeah, the global energy crisis. But I wonder how it affects people in the States or in Canada, because gas prices, that's true, they have skyrocketed, but the problem here is that Poland has most of its power generation from coal-powered plants, and a lot of this coal is imported from Russia. So see what happens. Same for the natural gas, and I don't exactly know how things are like in the US when it comes to power generation, because I think that they generate a lot more of its power in the nuclear plants than Europe in general, and also some hydroelectric dams, some large solar plants, I guess. Yeah, I'm all for shutting down the coal-based power generation. I'm also for the nuclear plants when done in a proper way, when secured. We have enough experience from various disasters and incidents to design better plants and design and engineer a better, more efficient process for refining, for enriching the uranium. But uranium is gonna run out, and it's not a viable long-term source of energy. That's why it's so important to work on the fusion reactors, and I hope that the work on those reactors will indeed progress so that we're gonna have fusion-powered plants in 2 or 3 decades. Yeah, yeah. I guess that I wonder why France stopped streaming. Makes me sad. Makes me really sad. I also invited her to this stream. Wonder if she came. I guess she's busy and doesn't really have too much time to come to this teeny tiny channel from a Polish geeky trans girl who is greatly inspired by her. Yeah, so many Poles work in the UK, and yeah, sometimes there's the cultural problem, like not having worked through the prejudice, the racist, the queerphobia, and the sexism, and bringing them to a very more progressive culture. Even though it's far from perfect with all those turfs and all that stuff. Yeah, shut it down and blame the union, right? Oh, it's slightly past the waffle time, but I was still waffle. That was the long one, and I got slightly burned, but it was very satisfying. Looks like my nail polished. My nail polish slide caught fire. Accidents happen. That's how you do science. Yeah, Eduardo, you miss how young Fran looked. She was definitely a looker, a real deal pin-up girl, like Betty Page, and like what I'm trying to do myself with the bangs and stuff. I also dress in leather every day. Did it in my pre-transition days in my 20s when I was studying, and I still do. I'm really a punk slash rivet head slash goth kind of person. I'm in the goth subculture. Have been since 2006. Love the music, love the aesthetics. I also loved going to gigs. Thanks, Eduardo. Yeah, backhanded compliment from a British couple or a British couple. British. Hope not. 11 p.m. He's still here, and he's not even Polish. Yeah, I guess that the Polish are pretty well known as a hard-working nation, because there is much of a hustle culture here in Poland. A hustle culture, and the rat race. It partly stems from the Polish fascination with America in the 90s, maybe even earlier. than the Reagan era. Back soon after the Soviet Union fell fell down after the change of the government in Poland in 1989. The the economy transformation, it was a wild time for Poland, and since a good part of Poles were living abroad, mostly in the States, I guess that's also where the Polish fascination with America comes from, and this fascination, I think it was pretty much uncritical, without without deeper insight, without looking at the negative aspects and seeing them, because the hustle culture, I would say it's very toxic, and yeah, people who are deep into it, they can't see it. They will work harder and harder and harder, and get overworked beyond their capabilities, and this is gonna bite them hard in the ass. Even if not just right now, then after a few decades. Yeah, the Poles have a reputation for working till the job is done. I can see it in myself sometimes. Though certainly my suspected ADHD sometimes comes into way, and I move on to a different task when I was doing the previous one. Okay, time to wrap it up and say goodbye. See you next time. Bye.